Booba and the Phantom Footballer. It's time for a game of football. Noodle is the referee and blows the whistle. Spike is the goalkeeper and stands waiting for the ball to be kicked his way. Booba is excited to try. He kicks the ball and rushes to the goal. He wants to score. Booba has got amazing football skills and passes to his teammates Lula and Mr. Beak before they pass it back to him and...
Hey!
Goal! Booba scores. Or he thinks he does. Something seems to be stopping the ball from going into the goal. Mr. Beak grabs the ball and throws it back onto the pitch, ready for them all to continue with the game. Booba and Mr. Beak tackle each other. But soon they lose the ball to Lula. Lula is good at football too. Mr. Beak and Booba run to try and stop her from scoring, but it's too late! Even Mr. Beak's wings can't stop Lula from scoring. She cheers, but Mr. Beak isn't happy. The ball got past him. Meanwhile, Spike is enjoying playing with the ball himself. He wants to score a goal too, but the ball is too big for Spike. He gets in a muddle, and his teammates mistake him for a ball. Uh-oh! Suddenly, everyone hears a whistle, and Noodle appears. He's trying to tell the team something. The ball is out of control. Everyone stares at the ball when it suddenly flies into the air, knocking Booba over. Booba's fall shakes the apple tree, and all the apples fall onto the ground, covering Booba. But what's this? A pair of glasses have appeared above Booba's head. He takes them and puts them on. He looks towards his friends and notices that somebody else appears to be in the team too. Is that Ghost Booba? These aren't normal glasses. They're magic glasses. Booba removes his glasses and Ghost Booba disappears. He puts them back on again and Ghost Booba reappears, then disappears, then reappears. Ghost Booba is trying to get the team's attention, but they're too busy arguing with each other. Only Booba can see Ghost Booba. Lula walks away. She's had enough of playing football. But Ghost Booba wants her to stay, so runs after her. But she doesn't notice him. Ghost Booba is invisible. Ghost Booba is sad. In his frustration, he kicks the ball away. But he doesn't notice Noodle in the way, and the ball sends Noodle flying up into the air. Uh-oh, thinks Ghost Booba, and runs into the house. Booba follows him in. Inside the house, Lula is grumpily rolling some dough in the kitchen. Ghost Booba wants to help her, but Booba is onto him. He can see that Ghost Booba is in a mischievous mood. Ghost Booba has a fork in his hand, and Booba immediately takes it away from him. But the tussle causes Lula to land face down in her pastry. She looks at Booba thinking it's his fault, but he waves his hands to say it wasn't him. He immediately moves away from the counter, not wanting to get into any more trouble from Lula. Ghost Booba laughs at Booba. He thinks it's funny. He wants to get up to even more mischief. He takes some eggs from the kitchen counter and juggles with them. Uh-oh, thinks Booba. He needs to stop him. But it's too late. Ghost Booba kicks one of the eggs and it cracks right on top of Lula's head. Uh-oh! Lula removes the egg from her face and demands Booba give her the eggs in his hand. She returns to the kitchen counter as Ghost Booba laughs at him. He throws an egg at Booba and he ends up with egg on his face too. Ghost Booba and Lula look at Booba and laugh. He looks funny. Booba doesn't think this is funny. Before Ghost Booba can get into trouble with Booba, he runs out of the kitchen. Outside, Mr. Beak is trying to catch a butterfly. Thinks Ghost Booba. I wonder what mischief I can get up to out here. He takes the butterfly net from Mr. Beak, just as Booba appears. Mr. Beak turns around to see who has taken his net. When he sees Booba holding it, Booba immediately gives it back to Mr. Beak. But Ghost Booba is up to no good again. He takes the net and plonks Mr. Beak on the head with it. Mr. Beak can't see anything and runs around in circles squawking. He doesn't see the seesaw in his way and is flung up into the air before landing on the ground on his bottom. He is really not happy with Booba. Booba tries to tell him that it's not him, but Mr. Beak turns the leaf when Ghost Booba squeezes a horn very loudly, causing Mr. Beak to jump in fright. Ghost Booba thinks this is very funny and quickly puts the horn in Booba's hand as Mr. Beak turns around. Ghost Booba disappears. Mr. Beak takes the horn, squeezes it at Booba before giving it to him and leaving. Ghost Booba wants to be even more mischievous and finds Spike at the sandpit building a sandcastle. He has a bucket of apples and is just about to tip them in the sand when Booba appears. Booba knows what he's about to do and tries to stop him. He grabs the apple bucket, but Ghost Booba refuses to let go. They fight over the bucket, but Ghost Booba can float in the air and pulls the bucket up into the sky, with Booba still hanging onto it. Ghost Booba throws the apple down at Spike, and they land on his spikes and destroy his sandcastle. Soon the bucket is empty, and Booba comes crashing down to the ground with the bucket landing on his head. Spike turns to look at him. He thinks it's Booba who has ruined his sandcastle. He is not happy and throws an apple at the bucket, which is still on Booba's head. He disappears. Ghost Booba reappears, giggling. He throws an apple at the bucket too. Poor Booba. But Booba has had enough and puts the bucket over Ghost Booba's head. Now he can't see where he's going. He floats up into the air, but bangs into the apple tree, knocking the apples to the floor before landing on a swing. Ghost Booba looks sad. Booba looks at him and wonders why he's sad. How can he cheer him up? Booba has an idea. Maybe Ghost Booba would like to play football. He grabs the ball and kicks it towards Ghost Booba. Suddenly, Ghost Booba looks happy again. They kick the ball to each other and have fun. But Mr. Beak, Lula and Spike can't see Ghost Booba because they don't have the magic glasses. Who is Booba playing football with? They are very confused. Suddenly, Booba spots that he is being watched and realises that this game must look very funny to his friends. He has an idea. He disappears and returns with a fire extinguisher. He sets it off and Ghost Booba appears. Now everybody can see Ghost Booba. They're all happy to see each other until they hear a whistle. It's Noodle, blowing his whistle and clinging onto the ball. He sees the team around him and has an idea. Time for another game of football. Everyone plays a great game of football together, and Ghost Booba scores the winning goal. They celebrate by holding him high in the air. Yay for Ghost Booba!